I gave you some statistics, and the basis of it was from the Quran. The Quran says, and a sign for them is the dead earth. It is brought back to life, and then from it springs fruits and grains of all kinds which they eat. And we place therein gardens and palm trees and grapevines, and cause them to burst forth therein some springs that come from the ground, that man doesn't control himself. And there he creates his industry, that they may eat of the fruit created by God, and their hands have not produced it at all. So will they be grateful? Exalted is he who created all life in pairs. So the Quran establishes that everything in life has been created in pairs, whether plants, whether animals, whether insects, whether fish or bacteria. Has science ratified that everything in life has been created in pairs? Yes, the Quran said that 1,424 years ago. And of course the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, he wasn't a botanist, he wasn't a geologist, he didn't have a microscope, he had no way of knowing that. The only way a human being 1,424 years could know that is through the help and inspiration of the one who is the creator from the beginning. Because that fact that everything has been created in pairs was only discovered 78 years ago, scientifically. Exalted is he, Almighty God, who created all things in pairs, from what the earth grows, and from themselves, the human beings, and from that which they do not know. That means here the Quran is establishing that there are some creatures, maybe micro creatures, that are also created in pairs that the human being doesn't know about. And a sign for them is the night that we extract from the light of the day. Now this is the phenomena itself that we have now discovered from going outer space. When we go out in space, we realize that the day is extracted from the night, not the night from the day. We realize that night is first and day is second, although we say day night. We realize now that time is really inverted, but you have to go out in space to be able to see it. That's why in Australia we are sitting here at 9:30 in the evening, isn't it? In London it is now 10:30 in the morning, but yesterday. And in America it's 5:30 in the morning yesterday. But we just discovered that dimension of time recently, didn't we? We didn't know that before, but the Quran establishes that, because listen to this. And the sun runs its own course towards its stopping point, and that is the determination of the exalted in might, the knowing. And the moon we have determined for it phases until it returns, appearing like a date stalk. Now think about it. Here the Quran has established that the sun runs its course along with its other bodies which carries it. What bodies does the sun carry with it? It's 9 planets, is that correct? Based upon the movement of the sun and the planets around it, we establish what? Time, isn't it? And based upon the movement of the moon around the earth, we establish what? Another set of time. Now how did the Quran establish this 1,424 years ago, while the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, he didn't have any telescope? He didn't know that. He could only have known that through the aid and the assistance of revelation or inspiration from the one who created. The Quran says it is not allowed, listen to this, لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وفي فلق يسبحون وكل في فلق يسبحون. It is not allowed for the sun to reach the moon, that is to outstrip it, nor is it allowed for the night to overtake the day, but each one of them swims along in its own law and orbit. When was that established? How long was it that Copernicus gave us a theory that man was in the center of the universe? Did you remember that? That man was the center of the universe. We know now that man is not the center of the universe at all. But 1,424 years ago, the Quran established that the sun cannot outstrip the moon and the night cannot outstrip the day, but each one of them are engaged in a predetermined law and orbit. This is the Quran. Dear brothers and sisters, all of this is to establish in your minds, all of this dialogue, all of this evidence, all of this proof is to clearly establish in everybody's mind here that you and I, nor all of us together, nor all the human beings in other places throughout the earth, none of us individually, endowed or unendowed, intelligent or unintelligent, educated or otherwise, rich or poor, black or white, male or female, none of us are benefactors. Who's the benefactor? Who's the benefactor? God, the Almighty, the Creator, your Lord, my Lord. This was established by those prophets and messengers, those extraordinary human beings that I spoke about a few moments ago. That was already established. I didn't need to come here and establish that. I just need to come here and remind you of that.